Geraldo, let's talk about William Barr, because after Mueller spoke...
I'm a big fan.
Okay, well, William Barr had his first interview after Mueller's briefing, and this was on another network. We'll play a sound bite. Oh, this was this morning.
Oh, they've given us more of the interview they did yesterday.
Okay, right. Here's a little bit of that interview.
The word spy.
Can't wait.
Like many other people who are familiar with intelligence activities, I had a lot of questions about what was going on, and I assumed I'd get answers when I went in, and I have not gotten answers that are at all satisfactory, and in fact have probably more questions, and that some of the facts that I've learned don't hang together with the official explanations of what happened.
What do you mean by that?
That's all I really will say. Things are just not jiving.
So he's talking about investigating the investigators, and he used the word spy, and he's not backing off of it.
You know, that was a very casual setting. There he is in his kind of a hunter clothes, and the fire is in the background, and he's speaking, you know, in mellow tones. But what you just heard is a bombshell. If I were James Comey right now, or James Clapper right now, or John Brennan right now, I would be quaking in my boots. Why? Because the Attorney General of the United States has set his target on you. He wants to know why you started this counterintelligence investigation of the Trump candidacy. How long did you sustain that investigation of the Trump candidacy, the Trump transition, the Trump administration? What tools were employed? What foreign assets were employed? What spies, indeed, were employed for you to have this investigation of the president into whether or not the president of the United States was a spy, was a Russian asset, was a traitor to his nation? This is big stuff, Brian, and I sometimes tend to be overly passionate about some of these issues. But I tell you, what you just heard it should send ripples of fear and apprehension. And right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the document shredders weren't going overtime, if people weren't being debriefed about what they did and what they said. I think this is really big stuff. The Attorney General wants to know why you started this investigation against President Trump, why you sustained this investigation against President Trump. Why didn't you tell the President of the United States when you knew to a reasonable certainty that there was no collusion with the Russians? Why didn't you tell the President then? Why did you treat the President of the United States as an enemy of the state? I think that you can, you know, the popular notion or the mainstream media has they're just messing around and they're just looking into the investigators, they're just fighting back, we won't cover that, you know, that's just a sideshow for Fox News. BS. This is big stuff. Why? Because they did something fundamentally suspect.
And if you want to know why the president has second thoughts about his intelligence community, this is the relationship and how it got started. The relationship, how it got started is Comey, head of the FBI, I can't trust him. The head of the CIA, John Brennan, has become a political pundit. And those are the people that set me up for failure when I was president-elect. James Clapper, who can't stop rubbing it on top of his head. And then Peter Strzok and the text messages, they tell it all without anything. And this is why you're exercised. Because at your core, you're an investigative reporter. You don't care what the topic is. And number two, you're a lawyer. So it's really hard for you to be duped into if there's any there.
I'm also a patriot.
And number three, you're a patriot. I was going to say that.
I'm a patriot. I love my country. I see when the president uses the word coup, everyone says, Donald Trump, he's an exaggerator, he's a braggart, he's a this, he's a that. I'm telling you, when I had a chance, or if I have a chance to cross-examine Rod Rosenstein, I'm going to ask him exactly what you did. Tell me exactly what you did against this man, and when did you start it? I want to know exactly who was directing you to do these things. I want to know how deeply you went into, for example, the wiretapping at Trump Tower. Was there wiretapping? I know you did Carter Page's phone. I know you had some sweet honeypot, cozying up the Papadopoulos in London. I want to know exactly what tactics you used, because I think that what you had here was an attempt to delegitimize Donald Trump in a way that will be historic when it is revealed. This is the real story.
Democrats want to impeach him.
You know, I think, you know, Asa, that's an interesting point. Yes, they do. Why? They want to impeach him because they are upset that he's the president. They want to impeach him because he's a candidate for re-election. They want to impeach him because as long as they're going forward, they don't think that the other side's going to go behind and see what was at it. For instance, I mean, just this is one point. So I know that there's no collusion. Me, the prober, me, Robert Mueller, the St. Paul. I know there's no collusion. I figured it out. Early in 2017, I knew that Donald Trump did not collude with the... Why didn't you tell Donald Trump? Were you trying to get him or his associates in perjury traps? Were you trying to get them in a place where you could trick them up? You were like with Michael Flynn, where you could trip him up. Oh, you know, you told us there were 3 meetings. There were really 4 meetings. That's perjury. That's a felony. You're facing 20 years. And your son's going to get screwed too unless you play ball.
Michael Flynn. Stricken Page talked about an insurance policy, and the president mentioned it yesterday. I thought he was spot on. Isn't every day we're talking about that still living within the insurance policy? And part of the insurance policy is to discredit and tear down this president.
Did Rosenstein really say 25th Amendment? Did they really ponder using the Constitution of the United States to get President Trump out of office because he was not fit for office because of the spying BS?
Right.
I mean, I really want to know the full parameters of what is the biggest story in years.
Geraldo, I think the Attorney General is going to make sure that
And
he's
he's
doing it in a
a great
methodical
guy.
way. He seems it.
Great guy.
And